My thoughts control my life. If you have good thoughts, you're going to have a good life. If you have bad thoughts, you're going to have a bad life. If you have sick thoughts, you're going to have a sick life. If you have sinful thoughts, you're going to have a sinful life. Be careful how you think. Your life is shaped by your thoughts. We control what we eat. We control what we believe. We control what we drink. But we don't always control what we allow in our minds. And the Bible tells us that every action in your life starts with a thought. If you don't think it, it doesn't happen. If you think good things, then good things are going to happen. And you're going to do good things. But if you have bad thoughts, then you're going to tend to act in bad ways. So your mind controls and shapes your life. There's a second reason that you need to learn to manage your mind. It's because my mind is the battleground for sin. It's where every temptation happens. It's where every sin actually starts. The sin of pride starts in the mind. The sin of lust starts in the mind. The sin of hatred starts in the mind. Fear starts in the mind. Resentment, jealousy, envy, they all start in the mind. Worry, being stressed out, that's all in the mind. The battlefield for sin is fought not around you, it's fought in your mind. Romans chapter 7, verses 22 and 23, Paul talks about this battle that's constantly going on in our minds, and he says this, I love to do God's will so far as my new nature is concerned. But there's something else deep within me that is at war with my mind, and it wins the fight, and it makes me a slave to the sin within me. Paul says, in my mind, I want to be God's servant, but instead I find myself still enslaved to sin, the habits and the hurts and the hang-ups that mess up our lives. Now, notice the words in that sentence. I want you to circle the word war, the word fight, the word enslaved, circle the word mind. These are battles that are going on in your brain. Now, sometimes you're conscious of this mental battle that's going on, and at other times you're not conscious of it. But it's one of the causes of mental fatigue. We're in a constant battle for your mind, and your mind gets tired because of the battle of things you want to think and things you don't want to think. The reason this battle is so intense is because your mind is your greatest asset. And Satan knows that whatever gets your attention gets you. And so he starts with the mind, not with your behavior, not even with your emotions. He starts with your thoughts. A managed mind, it's the key to peace. It's the key to happiness. It's the key to life. An unmanaged mind leads to tension. A managed mind leads to tranquility. An unmanaged mind leads to pressure, but a managed mind leads to strength. An unmanaged mind leads to stress. If I want to learn how to manage my mind, I must feed my mind with truth. I must feed my mind with truth.
Our mind is the control tower of our life. Whatever happens in our life starts right here. All of our decisions are there. And the truth is, whatever we are today is the result of what we've been thinking about all those years. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you don't like what's going on around you, maybe you should ask yourself the question, what am I thinking about? What do I think about myself? What do I think about other people? Because what we think about is really what controls us. For example, our relationship to God, our relationship to each other, our sense of direction in life, whatever we accomplish, our failures in life, all of that is a result of the way we think. And oftentimes we forget that this is a control tower, that everything else is a result of how we think, controlling our thoughts, because this controls everything. And that's where our thoughts are from. How do I control this control tower of my life? One of the ways you overcome whatever that sin is in your life or whatever's going on, one of the ways you overcome this thinking is by asking yourself some very impacting questions. Not just questions, but questions that'll make a difference in your life. And I would just encourage you to write these down. You ask yourself these questions about whatever you're thinking. And the first question you ask is this: where will these thoughts lead me? Where will these thoughts lead me? If I keep thinking the same thing, Well, it's going to lead you somewhere. Very important question. If I keep thinking this, where's it going to lead me? Another question is, will these thoughts get me where I want to go? Then you have to decide, where do I want to go? Where do I want to go in life? Will what I'm thinking get me where I want to go? And if you say, I'm just not important, I'm a nobody, I don't have any gifts and talents and skills in life, and give yourself a lot of excuses, you won't get anywhere. So you have to ask yourself the question, if I keep thinking this, where will this get me in life? Then ask yourself the question, are these thoughts scripturally acceptable? In other words, let's say, for example, you're sitting in front of the TV and something comes along, you know it's not right. And the world is full of pornography. And pornography is the world's photography. They have diluted the truth, and they put all kind of stuff out there for people to watch. And you ask yourself the question, are these thoughts scripturally acceptable? And here's somebody committing some sexual